There's no distorted perspective in any of his other recent works.
Not much talent either.
So the symptom just came on. Acute onset visual agnosia points to a stroke or brain tumor.
MRI revealed no stroke or brain tumors.
Do another with contrast.
If he's like the other struggling artists I've known, he's also into drugs. We should... What are you looking at?
Apparently a moron. One, ER routinely tests for drugs. If it was positive, we wouldn't be looking at this file. Two, who pays 12% interest on a car loan?
How did you... Did you run a credit check on me?
No, that would be illegal. Interestingly enough, paying someone to run it for me, though. What? It's part of my job.
Your job is to diagnose patients.
Which I do with the team. How am I supposed to know how best to utilize that team if I don't know everything about them? Let's say that Van Gogh turns out to have neurosyphilis, and our last vial of penicillin is in a storeroom at the end of a 20-mile hallway with a 2-foot-high ceiling.
You've discovered that one of us has been hiding the ability to stretch or shrink themselves?
No. I would never out someone's superpowers. This, on the other hand...
You crawled 20 miles?
My name's in the Guinness Book.
I'll bet that really impresses the babes.
I didn't do it to get the babes.
No, that would cheapen the purity of your achievement.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have a patient with a probable brain tumor.
Who needs an MRI with contrast? We've established that. What do you got on Taub?
I got nothing on Taub.
Could also be environmental. We should check his studio for toxins, mold, fungus.
Taub's wife, on the other hand.
House. That's enough.
Dad's right. This is no time for gossip. Patient desperately needs our help. Check his head and his house.
Can't Lucas?
Nope. He's very busy.
His place was clean.
So is his head. Even with contrast. No masses, no lesions. Neurological symptom with no apparent neurological cause.
Time course means we can rule out cancer and MS.
Just leaves toxins or drugs.
You called 13 a moron for thinking it was drugs.
Yeah, when she said it, she had other options. I really just wanted to segue into her stupid loan and your...
A cavernous angioma in the brain could leak. Once the blood gets reabsorbed, pressure goes down, symptom goes away.
He'll never consent to petrosal vein sampling.
Really?
He was nervous about an injection of contrast.
Is his girlfriend hot? I'm not talking fever here. I mean, is she all curvy and perky?
Very. And if he dies, it's good news for all of
That
us.
explains why all his paintings suck. And what's wrong with him?
Where are you going?
Tell him he may have a massive brain tumor.
He doesn't.
I know. I'm not a moron. It's drugs. You seem to have a massive brain tumor.
Who are you?
He's Dr. House. He's pleased to meet you.
We found no trace on any of your imaging, so we need to cut your head open. It's risky, but it's the only way to save your life.
No.
Wrong answer.
I'm not allowed to say no?
You're not allowed to not be terrified. There's only two good reasons not to be terrified in a hospital. You're delusional, but then you're not afraid of contrast material either, or you know you're fine. Since we haven't told you you're fine, you obviously have information that we don't have. What drugs are you on?
His drug tests were clean.
Drug tests only test for drugs they made tests for.
What are you talking about?
Hottie thinks that he's a great artist, selling art to the rich and tasteful. She's stupid enough to be fooled by the canvases. The bank accounts don't lie. He needed money. There's not many jobs you can do that don't require time, training, and intelligence. And I know you're not a news anchor or a supermodel, because those jobs seldom cause agnosia. He's a guinea pig. Companies pay him to test their untested drugs. Did Hottie go for pee or coffee? Either way, I don't think you should waste any time on denials.
The clinical trials were supposed to be safe. The drugs are about to be approved by the FDA.
Drugs? How many trials are you on?
3.
Admirable. Not many idiots have that much ambition. You've been symptom-free since your admission, so whatever you took has probably cleared your system now. You'll be fine. Keep him overnight just to make sure and get the names of all the trials he's been in.
You gonna tell Heather?
Couldn't, even if I cared enough to want to.
What happened?
No, he was fine, then all of a sudden he started seizing.
You said you told him he was better. What's happening? What's wrong with him?
She is hot. Obviously, the drugs weren't out of his system.
None of these drugs, nor the drugs they're derived from, are known for causing seizures.
By themselves, no, but 3 unproven, untested drugs. It's like the Mod Squad. No one can stop them.
It's ridiculous that they let people take potentially dangerous drugs for money.
Just to short-circuit that discussion, people should not be testing drugs because they're desperate. But people won't test drugs unless they're desperate. We need drugs to save children and puppies, ergo we need desperate people, ergo welfare kills sick children.
First drug.
Why do we call it bisexadrine? Clinical trials involve experimental drugs. Means they don't have comforting, catchy names yet, just random, unmemorable trial numbers. Go ahead.
Bisexadrine is designed as an anticoagulant. Phase 1 indicated some risk of nausea, ED, and insomnia. Second drug.
Cocoldazole.
She is having an affair?
Worse. Sex can be dismissed as hormonal or emotional. It can be easily regretted. Money is always a calculated decision.
My wife has her own bank account that House doesn't think I know about.
Shocking. Discuss.
Drug B is an autoimmune treatment, almost no side effects.
But even if it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, it doesn't mix well with anticoagulants or anticonvulsants.
Which is the third drug?
World Soros Nizosil. Cuddy used to have that title, by the way.
There's a million ways these drugs could interact if they're doing what they're supposed to. If they're not, 2 million.
It'd be interesting to know which of those interactions was causing the problem. Unfortunately, we don't have to. We just have to stop the interacting.
If we don't know which is...
Stop them all. Put them on dialysis. Clear out his system.
Rapid detox risks arrhythmia, another seizure, hepatic failure.
Difference is we know what those risks are. Put them on dialysis.
Dialysis. You use that for kidney failure, right?
Don't worry, your kidneys are fine.
He's not worried about his kidneys. He's worried about how he's going to explain the dialysis to his girlfriend.
I just don't want her to worry.
You mean you don't want her to leave you?
What's wrong with that? I love her. It's not like I've lied to her about anything important. I am an artist. Sold plenty of paintings in the past. It's just hit a bit of a dry spell lately, is all.
So tell her that.
He can't. He wants her to be happy, too. He's telling her what she wants to hear.
His head and neck are completely swollen. I need a trach kit. His throat's closing.
Can't find any landmarks.
Just start cutting.
An exploratory trach?
We don't have a choice.
Got it.
Here. His face is so swollen, it squeezed his tear ducts shut. We've been lubricating his eyes by hand. We started him on steroids, IV, and cream to reduce the swelling, but it's having limited effect.
Negative for thrombosis and Chagas, could be infection.
Culture's still negative.
Could be his immune system's on hyperdrive, cytokine storm.
Why would you pay for a 3-year gym membership and only go twice? Sorry. You guys still diagnosing? Thought we finished hours ago. You remember when we decided it was the unproven, unapproved cocktail of drugs he's been downing like a cocktail.
He just completed a total dialysis. If it was the drugs, he'd be better.
Or he'd be worse. I take it none of you saw Train Spotting.
You think swelling is a symptom of withdrawal?
You think it's a coincidence that 3 new symptoms cropped up as soon as we took him off the drugs?
It's possible some of the symptoms.
Either the drugs are the answer, or the drugs are a coincidence. If it's 1, we have to find a better way to detox him. If it's 2, we have to know which symptoms are withdrawal-related before we can formulate a diagnosis, which means we have to find a better way to detox him.
So how do we do it?
Hair of the drug that bit him.
That's ridiculous. If it is the drugs, they're dangerous, and they've already
That's why we're going to put him back on the drugs and then wean him off again, just much slower. Why are you looking at him?
Try it out.
You heard the boss. Go! Taub.
I didn't talk to her.